I wish we could clone Elizabeth Warren and put 100 of her in the Senate. She's out there playing all of these other politicians like a fiddle, just outsmarting them, running circles around them. So what's going on right now is that the modern-day Washington bubble wisdom of both Democrats and Republicans is that we have to cut entitlements. It's a necessity. We don't have a choice. Now, of course, that's not true, and Elizabeth Warren knows it's not true. So what has she done to counter all of the bullshit from the congressman? Well, she's called for expanding Social Security. And as a result of that, now the progressive troops are all emboldened, and they're releasing ads like MoveOn.org, who released this.
Everyone knows living on Social Security alone isn't enough. Most don't realize that for 65% of us, Social Security will be the majority of our income. But even with rising prices for seniors, politicians are pushing to cut Social Security. Instead, we need to find ways to increase benefits, like ending the loophole that lets billionaires contribute almost nothing. Turn the conversation around. Tell Congress, expand Social Security. MoveOn.org political action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
See, what strong progressive leaders like Elizabeth Warren do is they can rally the progressive troops, like here with Move On with this fantastic ad, and she shifts the spectrum of the debate back to the left. So now what happens is, instead of the Democrats arguing, just leave Social Security alone, don't touch it, don't touch it, don't touch it. Instead of that being the starting position and the Republicans saying, cut it like 50%. We don't even want it anymore. We might want to eliminate it. But, oh, okay, I guess we'll compromise and only cut it by 15%. That's the way that politics usually works in the U.S., right? Well, Elizabeth Warren comes along and says, no, no. Not only do I want you to keep your hands off it, I want to expand it. I want it to pay out more. How you like me now? So what happens is now the compromise position is don't touch it. It's a brilliant political move. This is actually a political theory known as the Overton window, which basically means there's a spectrum of thought that's acceptable, and if you're outside that spectrum of thought, well, oh, you're a kook, you're a radical, you're automatically dismissed. But what Elizabeth Warren does, because she's a senator, right, is her opinion by definition has to be taken seriously. I mean, she got elected. So she shifts the spectrum back to the left, moves the Overton window to the left, and now, you know, that helps out progressives tremendously, and it'll help out in the end result when it comes to the policy. And also, as we've explained on the show before, I can't even tell you how many times, Social Security is fully funded until the year 2037. When was the last time you heard a politician concerned about a problem that's going to come up in 2037? We couldn't even get them to be concerned about a problem that was happening right now. Remember with the government shutdown? They were like, oh, is it shut down? Oh, maybe we'll get to that. So you're telling me something right now that they should be concerned about, they're not? But they are concerned about 2037? Well, no, this shows you it's got nothing to do with a genuine concern. It's got to do with helping out their buddies on Wall Street, helping out the people who bought them. Because that's the last nest egg of the American people, and all of the rich douchebags want to get their hand on it. How do I know this? This was the proposal under the Bush administration. After he won the election in 2004, he tried to privatize Social Security because his buddies on Wall Street wanted to get their hands on that money, on your money. Now, fully funded until 2037. After that, it still pays out 75%. Now, the Republicans all act, it's going bankrupt, it's going bankrupt. Really? No, bankrupt would mean it's paying out zero. Or bankrupt would mean that less than that. In other words, you have no money available and you have to pay out X amount, so you're in the negative. This, fully funded until 2037, after that it pays out 75% of its benefits. Nowhere near bankrupt, nowhere near in trouble. In fact, it has a $2.7 trillion surplus. Surplus right now. And of course, it's not even part of the general budget. So they'll, oh, it adds to the deficit, it adds to the debt. Not true at all. It has a surplus, and it's not even part of the general budget. Don't take my word for it. Take Ronald Reagan's word for it. He was the one who famously said this and told all the conservative Republicans back then, I would never cut Social Security. That's insanity.